Hey guys, I hope whoever's watching this video is doing good today. Today is currently day 59 of the challenge, right? That's day 59. And I've been working on the campaign, right? Setting it up, getting leads, and all that boring stuff, right? So that's not actually what I want to speak about today. That's not my highlight for today, right? Obviously it's an important part of this challenge, right? Because I have to have the campaign set up, but I don't want to speak about that, right? Because while I was setting up my campaign and I took a break, right, I was on a call with a friend of mine, very close friend of mine, and I would say that when it comes to business, whenever me and him have like conversations, right, it's like he's one of the friends that I'd be like, I wouldn't mind sitting with him for like 24 hours and just talking about business and strategizing and stuff. So he was telling me about this new app that was developed by by what do you call this? By an app in China, right? So it's like a Chinese app, right? And what they do is that because the app is new, right? I think this happens with a lot of apps, right? When an app is new, you get discounts and the prices are like very, very cheap, like compared to their competitors because they're trying to they're trying to break into the industry, right? So that's how they want to get customers, right? So he was telling me about this new app of his, and when you go to this app, there's this thing where you have to spin, right? And once it's done spinning, right, you have a chance to win something. And he ended up winning 1,500 rand. I don't know how much that is in dollars, but it's close to about $100, right? So it was like 1,500 rand, and they actually told him what he could spend the money on, right? Like on the app. So he was telling me about how like the things that they told him he could actually buy, they were not interesting to him. He didn't want to buy anything, right? But, right, the thing is, when they actually give you that 1,500 rand and you go to the checkout, you actually have to spend more than 2,000 rand before you check out. So basically, they making you spend an additional 500 rand. So you didn't win shit, right? like like once you start realizing these things of a business, it's interesting, like it's exciting because you start viewing business as like a whole game. Like business is actually an art, you know, because all these companies that have like discounts and everything, they're not actually discounts. No one is just going to give you something for free. That doesn't happen. So it's like when they reduce prices in one item, they're going to make sure that they cover that amount in other items, right? And it'll be like so small that you won't even realize it. Let's say, for example, I'm gonna use like a very, very small amount right here. So let's say, for example, the item is like 10 rand, right? And they tell you that this item today it's actually gonna be 7 rand, right? That 3 rand, what they can do is that they can divide it by three and then just add other items at 1 rand. And it will be like so small that you actually won't realize it. But that's how they like cover up their costs and everything. So we're actually discussing about how smart Asian people are, like how they come up with these pricing strategies, these techniques and all that. And we're just talking about business, and I was like, bro, like business is once you start enjoying it, you start playing it like a game. It's like a sport. It's interesting. Like you want to get better at it over time. And that's why you find these big companies like Google, TikTok, they spend billions of dollars, when it comes to their research and development, right? So that they can keep on improving their products and stuff. There's a reason why apps like TikTok are so addictive, right? Like the algorithm is so like what do you call this? It's so powerful that like once you get on the app, you just can't stop scrolling. You just can't stop scrolling. And I can say that I'm proud of myself that I haven't used TikTok for about like a year, probably even 2 years. Because I think back in 2021, I was still in varsity, right? And it got to a point that every single morning when I woke up, the first thing that I do is get on TikTok and I just start scrolling. And when I look at the time, I'm like, damn, I have classes in about 30 minutes or an hour. And I woke up 3 hours before class, you know. So it just got to a point where I was like that's when I realized how addictive the app is and how powerful these social media apps are, you know. And it makes sense because they invest so much money into their products, you know, into researching about consumers, about how consumers think, you know, why they make certain decisions before purchasing products, you know, and stuff like that. You know, it's business is so interesting, guys. It is literally so interesting, you know. It even got to a point where we were talking about, let's say, for example, someone is selling something as simple as a mat, right? So let's say they charge you 100 rand for that mat, right? And then that person tells you that the deposit for that mat, right? So like a mat, it's 20 rand, right? So you can keep that mat, right? You pay them the 20 rand. You just need to make sure at the end of the month you pay them that 80 rand balance. But what you don't know is that that 20 rand is break even for them. It covers all their costs. So basically that remaining 80 rand is their profits, you know? Like when you think about things like this, you know, when you don't think like a consumer anymore, it just becomes so interesting, you know, when you realize that nothing is actually for free, you know, all these companies that are like, okay, this is free, 50% off, you're not saving shit. You know, you realize you're not saving shit, right? For example, let's talk about Black Friday, right? So Black Friday is a big thing, you know, worldwide. Um, in South Africa too, you know, it's a big thing. Like there's major discounts, you know, when it's Black Friday, it's something that people look forward to, right? So I made this example where like, let's say a product is 1,000 rand, right? A product is 1,000 rand. On Black Friday, it's 600. So they telling you that you're going to save 400 rand, right? So on Black Friday, you just decide you're like, oh, that product is 600 now. Okay, cool. I just saved myself 400 rand, you know? But no, you did not save yourself 400 rand. They just made you spend 600 rand, you know? Like it's just like it's just crazy when you start appreciating business as a whole, you know, and like the systems and processes, you know, it gets to a point where you actually want to know how these people think, how they come up with these techniques and these strategies, you know. And hopefully I can also get to a point one day where I can start thinking like that, you know, I can start doing things like that in my companies, my businesses and everything, right? And there's also this guy called Iman Gadzi, right? He's very big on YouTube. He's the one that actually introduced me to the whole marketing agency about like 2 years ago, you know, 2 or 3 years ago. I think I was still in high school back then. I saw an ad from him and I've been following him ever since, right? So I don't watch his videos anymore where he talks about business and stuff like that. I only watch like his vlogs where he's having fun and stuff like that, you know. But once in a while, when I do watch a video of his, you know, I actually realize how powerful the techniques that he's using, you know, that majority of people don't even notice them or realize them, you know. Like when I watch his videos now, I don't watch them as a beginner or, you know, someone who doesn't have a clue of what's going on, you know. Now when I watch his videos, I actually appreciate his work, you know. I'm just like, wow, bro, like this is a masterpiece, you know. The way he does things, you know, the way he's able to draw people's attentions, you know, that's a skill, you know, that's something that needs to be developed over time, and it all falls under business, you know. In business, you're continuously learning and all that, right? So basically, because of this call, right, it also got me thinking about my pricing strategies, you know, like my current one and my past ones, right? And it got me thinking, I actually tried something similar to this in the past, right? Where I was working with real estate agents at the time, right? So so let's say I'm just going to use random amounts here, right? Let's say I'm charging this person $1,000, right, for a service. Charge him $1,000, but I know that I need to make $500 to break even, right? And I know that majority of people are going to try and come down and bring the price down, right? Because at the end of the day, they're also looking out for themselves, right? So if you want to charge someone $1,000, right, you'd actually charge them. Damn, I hope I'm making sense because I actually feel like I'm lost right now, and I don't want to cut this part out, to be honest. So I'm just gonna start it all over, right, and use a better example, right? So let's say, for example, it costs you $1,000 to break even. It costs you $1,000 to break even, and you charge a client $2,000, right? He's gonna try and negotiate that price down, and he's probably gonna be like, no, 1.5, you know, and then you like, no, actually, let's do 1.8, and he agrees on it. He's gonna leave that meeting, telling himself that, oh, I actually saved myself $200. I'm so proud of myself. I'm so happy. But he doesn't know that you actually just made a profit of $800. And it's not a bad thing because at the end of the day, the whole purpose of starting a business is to make a profit. Every single business in every single industry has their own techniques about how they charge their clients, how they charge their customers and everything. And once you start looking at business as a whole, you just start appreciating everything, because it's just a masterpiece, like that's why I truly believe that no matter how long it takes for me to, to reach this goal that I've set for myself, to sign clients and everything, I'll never stop because I'll never stop learning. I'll never quit. That's what I wanted to say. I'll never quit because I won't stop learning because it's an interesting topic for me. It's something that I'll continuously want to learn about, because it's fucking interesting. So yeah, that's what I wanted to speak about today. I hope, yeah, whether it made sense or not, it is what it is. I just wanted to speak about that. So yeah, as I said, day 59 of the challenge. I'm currently setting up the campaign and qualifying my leads and everything. So I'll keep you guys updated and all that, right? And I'll see you guys with another video tomorrow. Peace.